Mauricio Pochettino sack, 8 Chelsea players also fighting for their futures at Stamford Bridge. For the second season running, all is not well at Chelsea, putting Mauricio Pochettino in danger of the sack less than a year after he took charge. Pochettino is now in danger of being sacked after Chelsea's 4-2 loss at home to Wolves on Sunday. Just 7 months after appointing him, about as long as Potter got in the Stamford Bridge hot seat, Chelsea are thinking carefully about Pochettino's future. But which of their players could also be in danger of being sent away from the club when the next transfer window opens at the end of the season? Let's take a look at the Chelsea players fighting for their futures, just like their manager is. Conor Gallagher. This season, Pochettino has promoted Conor Gallagher to third in command in Chelsea's captaincy hierarchy, using him in all of the club's matches apart from one he was suspended for. Indeed, Gallagher is the most used player of the Pochettino era at Chelsea so far, but that hasn't stopped the head coach's superiors thinking about selling him. As an academy graduate, Chelsea would make pure profit by cashing in on Gallagher, who has been heavily linked with Tottenham Hotspur. The midfielder has dug his heels in with his intention to stay and do exactly what this article is about, fight for his place, but since he is into the final 18 months of his contract, questions are still being asked about his long-term credentials at Chelsea. You wonder what level he needs to go to stop Chelsea thinking about selling him, but the challenge is there ahead of him over these next few months. Thiago Silva. Generally speaking, Thiago Silva has defied his age since joining Chelsea from Paris Saint-Germain as a 35-year-old in 2020. He played an important part in them winning the Champions League under Thomas Tuchel in his debut season and has remained a regular sight in their lineups ever since. However, Silva is starting to look less dominant than he once was. The prospect of him seeing his contract extended for another season, as happened around this time last year, is looking less likely. In all likelihood, Chelsea will release Silva at the end of the season unless his form recovers. After Chelsea's defeat to Wolves, Silva's often outspoken wife Belle tweeted, "It's time to change. If you wait any longer it will be too late," in what may have been a veiled dig at Pochettino. Mudryk. Chelsea spent an awful lot of money to bring Mudryk to the club from Shakhtar Donetsk in January 2023, but he has failed to deliver on his price tag. The winger has only scored 4 goals from his first 42 appearances for Chelsea, missing plenty of chances to add to that tally and generally being ineffective. Pochettino is a believer in Mudryk's ability but recently sent a stern warning to him about where he needs to improve. In a press conference before the Wolves' defeat, Pochettino explained, "Now he is on the bench. Look, it's about the form during the season. If you keep your form and you are the best during every training session. As coaching staff, we are a meritocracy, we are going to play with the players who are going to do their best on the pitch. I think he's a young guy that arrived here 1 year ago. We know the circumstances around the transfer. Of course, he needs to improve. He has amazing quality and potential, but it's a team game, it's not tennis. We have players that need to perform in a group. If you see him, it's amazing, but after, you need to adapt and play for the team, he needs to adapt, and all of that needs time. Mudryk will have to hope Chelsea gives him that time, but you wonder how long they can afford to be patient with someone who costs so much. Trevoh Chalobah. Like Gallagher, Chelsea was open to offloading Trevoh Chalobah in January, as I constantly reported. Yet to play under Pochettino due to injury, the defender will have his work cut out fighting for his place when fit enough. There are other defenders above Chalobah in Chelsea's pecking order, including Silva, Levi Colwill, Axel Disasi, Benoit Badiashile, and Wesley Fofana, when all are fit. There were even doubts about the futures of former Monaco pair Disasi and Badiashile before January before such speculation was played down. They have long-term contracts at Chelsea, and while Chalobah does too, it could be the academy product who is ultimately sacrificed. Until then, he will hope to add to his 63 appearances for Chelsea. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano recently said, the expectation before the January transfer window was that Trevoh Chalobah would leave Chelsea and there was some interest in the player. However, the defender is now prepared to fight for his place in Mauricio Pochettino's team as he is going to be fit and ready to play soon. In January, Chalobah had some chances to leave the London club but it was never really close. Atletico Madrid considered the possibility of signing him, same for West Ham, but nothing was ever close because of his salary, which was considered too high for a 6-month loan. Reece James. Another player currently on the treatment table is club captain Reece James. On his day, the England international is one of the best players in his position in the Premier League, but physical problems have prevented his progress in recent years. For that reason, it is not unfeasible that Chelsea could look kindly at any offers they receive for the right-back, as The Sun recently explained. James has been linked with Manchester City before and Chelsea might have to carefully consider potential bids for James if he doesn't become consistently available. In his case, what he is fighting to prove is not his ability, but his physical reliability, which has been a source of major frustration for him. Marc Cucurella. It has been a topsy-turvy timeline for Marc Cucurella at Chelsea recently. His first season at the club after impressing with Brighton before was underwhelming and there were rumours he could have gone on loan to Manchester United in the summer, which never came to pass. Cucurella began to gain some more confidence in the early months of the season before rumours about a move elsewhere sprung up again ahead of January. There was nothing to it again, but Cucurella is now on the sidelines again due to injury. Once he is ready to play again, he will have to try and pick up his momentum, but that might not be easy. Noni Madueke. Just over 12 months have passed since Noni Madueke became a Chelsea player, but like fellow winger Mudryk, he has struggled to match the hype in that time. Before the January transfer window, I was told that Chelsea would be willing to sacrifice Madueke if it meant they could reinvest in a star striker. Finding that elite centre-forward remains on their agenda ahead of the summer window, so Madueke, who has scored 5 goals from 29 Chelsea appearances, will have to step up over the months until then. The 21-year-old is still a young player with potential, but Chelsea arguably need more immediate answers in their current predicament. Raheem Sterling. When Raheem Sterling left Manchester City in 2022, Chelsea proceeded to make him the first senior signing of the Todd Boehly era. However, Sterling went on to return to his lowest goal-scoring season since 2012-13, when he was just breaking through at Liverpool. At the age of 29, there will be pressure on Sterling to show he is not past his prime. He was noticeably booed off by some Chelsea fans when Pochettino replaced him with Mudryk against Wolves. There isn't a great deal of panic since Sterling's contract still lasts until 2027, but Chelsea needs him to rediscover his form from his Man City days and prove he can stand out in a different environment. If he can't, they might be wondering if he is the answer for them. Your support is of utmost importance to us. We kindly request that you consider liking and subscribing to our content to remain informed of our latest updates. Thank you for your continued interest in our organization.